Welcome to Up in Your Business with Kerry McCoy. Be sure to stay tuned to the end of the show to hear how you can get a copy of today's program and other helpful documents. And now it's time for Kerry McCoy to get all up in your business.
Hello, you're listening to KABF in Little Rock, Arkansas. I'm Kerry McCoy, and it's time for me to get all up in your business. For the next hour, my guests and I will be having a conversation of curiosity and storytelling. We will be answering questions via phone and email and giving advice to small business owners and to people who dream of owning a small business. You may be asking yourself, what makes this lady qualified to do this? And I'll tell you, experience. So in a minute, you can email or call and ask me anything. My experience is deep and wide, and my advice is free. 40 years ago, with just $400, I started Arkansas Flag and Banner. Since then, it's morphed into simply flagandbanner.com, with sales nearing $4 million. That's worth saying again. I started Arkansas Flag and Banner with just $400, and today we have sales nearing $4 million. I started by selling flags door to door, then went to telemarketing, next mail order and catalog sales, and today we rely heavily on the internet. In addition, over the last 40 years, I've navigated Flag and Banner through 2 recessions and 2 wars. When people find out I'm that woman who owns Arkansas Flag and Banner, they often say, "Oh, I've heard about you," and begin asking me business advice. I amaze even myself with all the knowledge I've gained. If you call for advice from me or my guests, you will not be given textbook answers or theory, but you will be given candid advice from real-world people. So be prepared for the truth. It's not always easy to hear. For instance, you may not want to hear this. In business, there are very few overnight successes. Starting and owning a business takes persistence, perseverance, and patience. When I started Arkansas Flag and Banner, I supplemented my income by waitressing, all while I peddled my flags door to door. After 9 years, did you hear me? 9 years of working a part-time job, the company began to grow and solely support me. My first hire was a bookkeeper. My first expansion was to begin the manufacturing of custom flags. The next decade ushered in the Desert Storm War. Flags were scarce, so a screen printing department was hurriedly built to meet consumer demands. In addition to sales and manufacturing, Flag and Banner now has a purchasing department, a shipping department, technology department, marketing department, call center, and retail store. And I spearheaded each of their development. My experience is deep and wide, and my advice is free. I hope you'll take advantage of this unique opportunity by calling or emailing me on today's show. Before we start taking calls, I want to introduce you to the people at the table. We have Tim Bowen, our technician, who will be taking your calls and pushing the buttons. Say hello, Tim.
Hello, Tim.
I'm lucky to have 2 guests today. Eric Herget from Hub International of Arkansas, and his son Ryan Herget, the CEO of Chef Shuttle. Everybody's interested in that. First, I'll introduce his father, Eric Herget, who was born in Paragould and attended Catholic High School in Little Rock, Arkansas. Eric has a bachelor's degree in marketing from the University of Arkansas and is a veteran insurance broker. Having worked in the field for over 20 years, in 2011, he led the effort of bringing Hub International, a leading global insurance broker, to the state of Arkansas. And with Eric today is his son, Ryan Herget. Even as a teenager, Ryan has been a hardworking, avid entrepreneur. At the age of 15, he saw his first opportunity when he started a power washing business. Ryan secured a $1,000 loan from his parents, got a hardship driver's license, and bought the necessary equipment from Sears department store to begin his small business. He immediately hit the ground running by distributing 2,000 flyers across town and going door to door to promote his new power washing business. In the first summer alone, Ryan sold $20,000 at the age of 15, and in the years to come, he quadrupled it. One way was by hauling junk mail for $100 an hour during the winter months. He sold his business for an impressive profit. Next, while attending the University of Mississippi in Oxford, a.k.a. Ole Miss, Ryan, in true entrepreneurial spirit, saw another opportunity. His new concept was simple. Poor college students could opt in to receive local bar and restaurant drink specials via text messages. This business was called the Daily Quench. To keep up with the overwhelming success of his new venture, he partnered with local restaurants to sell his Daily Quench cards. Before returning home to Little Rock, he sold this business. Now, at the age of 23, he had started and sold 2 highly successful businesses. Today, we know Ryan Herget as the founder of Chef Shuttle. Its mission to deliver a variety of products in a timely fashion. This restaurant delivery service has expanded to more than 42 cities across Arkansas and Tennessee. To date, it has partnered with more than 425 restaurants and has 225 delivery drivers. Sounds like a nightmare to me. Always thinking, Ryan continues to implement innovative partnerships from boat delivery on Lake Hamilton to floral delivery. Chef Shuttle's strong growth history is making a good case for moving its current business model towards that of a national franchise. Welcome to the table, Eric and Ryan Herget.
We appreciate you having us.
I'm so glad y'all both came.
You know, his bio was 20 times longer than mine, so he's accomplished much more than I have. I'm a simple insurance guy. He's done quite a bit more than I have.
I know you're a proud father.
Yes.
Well, out of respect to you, we're going to start with you. And I'm going to ask the age-old question. Is it nature, his genetics, or is it nurture, your guidance, that has made Ryan so entrepreneurial?
You know, the fact I told him I wasn't going to give him a whole lot of money in high school kind of forced him to go out and raise his spending money. And then he graduated from college 3 or 4 years ago, mid-May. And I told him, you know, congratulations, you're on your own in 2 weeks, June 1. So he, you got to set it out there for him and let him go succeed. And he's done terrific at that for sure. But he's an entrepreneur. I mean, he thinks of stuff that most of us would never, even go down that path.
I think that's called tough love, Dad.
Yeah, I'm a tough love guy.
Oh, look, Ryan's shaking his head. Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. So we're going to jump to Ryan. Do all your friends think you're a rock star?
When they want jobs, they do.
So let's ask the question that's probably the most important one. Are you married?
I'm not. The startup, small business lifestyle, especially in the beginning, sometimes limits your opportunity. So I'm not married.
I read where you work 7 days a week, and since you started Chef Shuttle, have never had a day off work.
I actually changed that a couple weeks ago. I took Saturday off, and it was a good Saturday.
And the reason you never take a day off is?
There's you've got your traditional small business, and then you have your startup. And the difference is a startup, our goal is not to be in business 20, 25, 30 years from now. Our goal is to build a company as fast as possible and then to position ourselves to potentially be acquired. And so we're trying to go from 0 to 100 in a 5-year time frame. We've got a few acquisition targets, whether it be an Amazon or a Google, that would be interested in entering our business. And so we've got to get to a certain point in the next couple of years. And so it requires a lot of work to get to that point in such a short period of time.
What is that point, or can you share it with us?
We want to be in 15 markets. 15, 20 markets is our goal.
Does that mean states?
Market we define as a metro area. So here, starting in 2017, we have new software launching, and we are opening one market every 2 months starting in February. So we'll open, whether it be a Tulsa or Oklahoma City or a Nashville, and we're going to grow in these mid-sized metro areas that are the size of Little Rock or a Memphis. We're not looking to go after the Dallases or the Los Angeleses, going after the smaller metro areas.
I think that's smart.
And we're looking to get to the 15, 20 metro areas and position ourselves.
You've already done Little Rock. You've already done Memphis.
And we've done Northwest.
So you said you're doing software. I thought about that. All these deliveries seems like a logistic nightmare to me. I wondered if you had your own software, if you developed your own software, or if you're using something out of the box.
We are currently using something out of the box, and that's our biggest constraint right now is the software provider we use is apparently, is the best in the nation out of the box software, but his software was only designed to do...
floral.
Yeah.
No, what was it designed
10,000 orders a month, and we're doing 30,000 orders a month. And so we've outgrown the software, and so now we're looking to build our own in order to be able to scale, because the limit on our growth in terms of opening new markets has solely been from a software point of view. So we're going to get rid of that hurdle when our software launches in the next couple months and then grow from there.
Making your own software is a nightmare.
It is.
How long have you been working on it?
We've been working on it the last 6 months.
And you think you're going to launch it by the spring?
we've got a really good team on it. We're not so.
Are you using a company in Little Rock?
We couldn't find anybody in Arkansas. We're using a company out of Dallas. One of my philosophies is if you want to, grow as fast as Chef Shuttle and our dreams are, that you've got to find third parties that you trust in to become the expert for you. Mm-hmm. We don't have time to become the expert in absolutely everything. And so when it comes to our software, we found a third party we trust to become that expert for us.
You've got to have deep pockets to just do what you said.
We have investors, and we're going through a round of funding right now.
You didn't go to a bank to get investing. You didn't go traditional banking, did you?
No. So
let's go back to when you gave him, Eric, did you give him the $1,000 to start his power washing business?
I don't remember that, actually, but if he says I did, I did.
I read it. It may be a typo. He did. Look.
Yeah, he demanded payment for a while, so I had to pay him back pretty fast.
So I think that we need it. Chef Shuttle is a big deal, but for listeners that are younger and want to just start a business, you just saw an opportunity. You were 15 years old. What made you think you had what it took to start a business and make it happen?
I think being that young, I wasn't mature enough to look at it that way of what's going to go into running this business. It was more out of a desire to not rely on my parents for money. Back when we were 14, 15, our parents would drop us off at the movie theater, and we'd go, to McDonald's before and go to the movie theater, and you'd sit there, your parents give you a $20 bill, and you might not be able to buy the popcorn you want. I thought to myself, there's got to be a better way to do this. I want to earn my own money so I can buy the popcorn I want.
That's exactly the reason I did it. I just wanted more than money than my parents would give me.
There we go. Yep.
And that was the motivator. Mm-hmm. So if you're listening out there and you want more than you currently have, I guess they call that ambition, you think there's an opportunity everywhere for everybody.
And there is. It takes hard work and dedication.
How'd you decide on power washing?
The power washing space was a necessity that I saw consumers needing about once a year, but it wasn't an area or an industry that had a lot of competition. You see a lot of lawn care companies, but you don't see too many pressure washing companies. And so what I did... Were
you pressure washing around your house and thought about it? Is that how you came about it?
No, I actually had never pressure washed before. I just saw that, going through my neighborhood, everybody's fence was gray, and everybody's driveway was black. And doing some research, how you solve that problem is through pressure washing. And obviously, nobody was hiring pressure washing companies, or else people's driveways wouldn't have been black and their fences wouldn't have been gray. And so I started a pressure washing company. And one of the things that I took advantage of was my age, and I took advantage of, I was at Catholic High at the time. And so on the flyers, I made sure to put, I'm 15, 16 years old, Catholic High. And people want to help somebody that's trying, at a young age to make it on their own. And I wasn't technically on my own yet, but somebody was trying to start their own business, and I took advantage of that. And so that really helped me, because people would get these flyers and say, I'm going to choose this kid over a professional service because I want to help him.
Working hard.
Because he's working hard.
But I'm surprised you knew that young. I didn't know that till I got older and looked back and thought all the breaks I got was because they were like, well, look at this young whippersnapper selling door to door. I'm going to help her out. Isn't she trying hard? But I didn't know that at the time. I felt inadequate and embarrassed at my youth. You didn't feel that way.
When you're in college or high school, I don't necessarily know if your youth holds you back. Once you get out of college, and me being the CEO of a company going through fundraising, my youth, people say he's 26, he's trying to raise X amount of money. This is a young guy. He's got to prove himself. But being in high school or college, though, I think it's more to your benefit than your detriment.
I think you are absolutely right, and I think that was very insightful for you to recognize that so early on. Yes,
I do remember the loan. And I looked at my calendar. It was a couple $1,000. It was not $1,000.
Oh, we got to edit it. Look, yeah. Is that right, Ryan?
There's been a lot happen since then. I know that loan went on to make quite a bit of money, so it was definitely worth it.
It was very worth it. So go ahead.
He did not, in high school and through college, he didn't ask me for any money. So, we helped him with the necessities of car and a place to live, but spending money, I never gave him a nickel. So
because you didn't give him enough.
Yeah, exactly.
So he wanted more.
Exactly.
By my senior year, pressure washing, we were only open, 3 months out of the year during the summers. We were open June, July, and a little bit of August. By my senior year, I think I had, like $80,000 at 17 years old, working
What?
3 months. And
Why am I providing a car?
Did you say $80,000?
yeah, that business, it grew.
It grew, and there was no overhead. So you hired your friends?
I hired some friends. I hired my brother. I hired anybody who could help work, and that's
Did you pay contract labor?
Yes.
Or did you hold up taxes?
No, we were paying independent contractors.
Okay, that's good. So I'm sorry. Go ahead. What were you going to say? You hired your brother.
Yeah, and I think
You have two brothers. Did you hire both of them?
no, my younger brother doesn't want to get his hands dirty. Connor, but no, Connor's
The baby.
Connor has his own passions. He's a pilot, where my younger brother is more business school oriented. Cole, and so Cole's the one who helped me because he eventually took it over once I went to college, because I moved on to my next company, and he took it over. But then once he was about to go into college, we ended up selling it because just the time that needed to be committed during those 3 months, and I was focused on another project, and it was kind of getting too much for him, so we ended up selling the company.
What was the name of that company?
Premier Power Washing.
So you left when you went to college. You sold it. And is it still going on?
Yes.
So anybody out there that's listening, that's wanting to make some money, that's young, which is when I really started. I was 15 when I started going, I really don't like, same thing. I really would like to have more money than my parents are going to give me. And this is a great way. Anybody can start like this. Go buy a power washer at Sears and start knocking on doors. Did you make your flyer? And we're going to move on to the Daily Quench, because I want to show a pattern in Ryan's entrepreneurial spirit that I think people can learn and grow from. But when you made up your flyer, did you just do it on Word?
Just did it on Word, took it off Office
Depot.
Depot.
How simple it is. And did you go around and put it up on corners, on street corner?
The key to the flyers I found was I never printed anything on white paper. I always printed it on the brightest yellow highlight color paper I could find, so it'd stick out. And originally what I would do is I would go around and put them through mailboxes. And obviously I got in a little bit of trouble doing that.
That's right. For people who don't know, you can't use the U.S. Mail Postal Service mailboxes to put flyers in. It's a federal crime.
But
They called him. He remembers.
Yeah, they did?
Well, the gentleman who called me said, you can't do this, but we just rolled out a creative solution that I think you'll benefit from. And he introduced what the post office has a program called EDDM, or Every Door Direct Mail. And what you do for, I think it's 15 cents a flyer, you say, I want this mailman or mailwoman delivers this route. I want her to drop these flyers on every house on a route.
They'll do that?
And they'll do that. And so right when they came out with it, that's now how I started distributing my flyers, is because this mailman has 800 houses he's going to, you give him 800 flyers, and so you pay discounted postage of 15 cents because he's just putting it in every single mailbox.
Who did you call? The local post?
You can go. They've actually got a whole website now on the post office. You can just type in, U.S. Postal Service, Every Door Direct Mail.
Every Door Direct Mail.
And they have a tool now. We've used it some for Chef Shuttle, where you put in a zip code, and it'll show you all of the individual routes that are in that zip code for the mail, and you select what routes you want your flyers to go to.
Is this how you advertise for Chef Shuttle?
It's one of the ways, but we do a lot. We do a lot more. When we open a market, we'll utilize Every Door Direct Mail to really get the name out there. It's the best way to blanket an area.
I've never heard of it.
But yeah, Every Door Direct Mail. It's a great tool, and I think it was a great compromise for the post office. It was hard for them to get mad at a 15, 16, 17-year-old. So
once again, using your youth to your advantage. They're
the innocence of it,
The innocence of it. Mm-hmm.
My dad told me this was okay. I'm sorry. But yeah,
like your
it's
dad's
worked.
going to jail.
Better him than me. No, wouldn't that been something though?
Yeah. So let's move on to Eric. I'm sorry, I'm neglecting you.
Oh, no, I'm enjoying rehashing all this.
I know, you're grinning from ear to ear. You're having a good time.
Yeah.
Let's move on to Daily Quench. I want to show there's this pattern in the way. I mean, you're even at Chef Shuttle using some of the stuff you learned at the power washing business. So, at Premier Power Washing, is that what it was?
Yes.
And now we've moved to Daily Quench. One of the problems I see a lot of entrepreneurs do is they name their businesses so abstract that nobody can tell what they are. All three of your business names are descriptive.
Yes.
So you go, oh, Daily Quench. I get it. You want to know the daily drinking holes. I understand that. So talk about how you saw the opportunity for the Daily Quench and how it came about.
With Daily Quench was when I was a junior in college at Ole Miss. And
so it wasn't right off the bat. Wasn't when you first got to Ole Miss.
No, because we were still, I had taken an internship at Morgan Stanley Smith Barney. I had taken an internship in New York at a company called Marsh & McLennan. And
an internship for doing what? Insurance like your dad?
One of them was. One of them was.
I like it.
Because I didn't know what I wanted to do at that point. You know, I knew I had something great with Premier Power Washing, and it was making, oodles and oodles of money for us. But I was trying to figure out what do I want to do. And so I was trying to get, as much experience as I can. And what I noticed was, at Ole Miss, we're known for a party school.
Really?
And,
I didn't know that.
And I saw that, I could bring traffic to certain bars if they offered me or my customers an exclusive special. So I went to these bars and I said, if your Bud Light, let's say, is $3 a bottle, if you will sell it to my customers for $1.50 a bottle for only Daily Quench customers, I will then notify all of my customers about this special, and I'll bring everybody to you. Instead of, if there's 15 bars in Oxford, instead of them being dispersed among the 15, give my customers a special.
So you marketed to your really niche market through text messaging, right?
Yes.
So instead of going and advertising in the paper today, we've got Bud Light for $1.50, some broad, expensive advertising, which is very expensive to do that sort of advertising. They could pay you a much smaller amount.
Yeah, and with college students, it's hard to reach college students.
Because they don't read the paper.
They don't read the paper. They're typically...
They don't watch TV.
Yeah. You can't really... Email marketing is ineffective because they're not using their personal email. They're using their school email that they're required to use. And
Which
you're not
is blocked.
Exactly. And so...
I never thought about all that.
But the college student is the most valuable customer to a company because that is when preferences and opinions are formed in college. And so in college, if you're a Bud Light drinker in college, you're going to be a Bud Light drinker for the rest of your life. But
really?
You can go from one drink and then start preferring another drink in college, and now you're out of college, and that's the second drink's the one you're going to prefer. And so being able to grab these customers at a young age and mold their opinions and then be able to profit for the rest of their life off of them, my goal with Daily Quench was to collect this data that I could eventually have this database on the most valuable type of customer out there. And so what our plan was originally is... Well,
originally you were losing money.
Yeah, because what I did was...
Because you just wanted to collect the data, and then you were like, I read you were losing $200 a day.
My original business model was the restaurants, 7 or 8 restaurants and bars were going to pay me $1,000 a month, and I was going to drive business to them. So I created a text messaging service where I think you text Rebels to 90999, and every day at 5 p.m., I would send a text message out and let you know, hey, this bar is doing half off well drinks or whatever. Well, I told 3 people at first, hey, text Rebels to 90999. Within 5 days, I had over 6,000 people in this service, and it just kept blowing up. Well, when you use a text message, you can't just send a text message from your iPhone to 6,000 people. You have to use a special text message platform, and it costs you, 1 cent or 2 cents per person you're sending that text message to. And so,
what platform did you use?
I can't remember I can't remember now.
So the service...
It was charging me. And it was costing so much.
Like an e-blast has a service,
yep.
But it's a text message service.
And so if I'm bringing in $8,000 a month in revenue from these bars, and it's costing me, $200, $300, $400 a day to send a text message out, I'm in the hole.
On that, yeah, I can't even.
$400 a day times 30 days, that's $12,000.
Because your text messaging,
so many people
was getting to be so many people, and they were charging you a penny a person or whatever they do it, how they do it.
And so I knew I had a great idea, but a month into it, it was this thing's going to go upside down pretty fast. And I was sitting around with one of my buddies one evening, and it was, to his credit, it was his idea. And he said, "What if you still use the text message? Because before, to get that special at the bar, all you had to do was just show your phone and show this text message."
Okay.
They said, still send a text message, but instead of showing just a text message, flip your revenue model. Make it free to the restaurants and bars, and have customers pay $25 for a Daily Quench card. And so now they show a card to get the special, and you can make your money from the card.
Is the card just a one-time fee, $25?
$25 for
One-time
6
fee.
months.
And you had, for 6 months, and you had 6,000 customers.
Yeah, so what happened was we sent a couple texts out, said, as of this date, text message no longer work. You got to buy Daily Quench cards. And I partnered with one of my bars. I bought a printer offline, a card printer where I could print these cards offline. It's a $3,000 or $4,000 printer.
I didn't know you could do that.
Yeah, I told a bar owner, I said, if you'll pay me $1,000 plus give me and a couple of my buddies a free bar tab for the night from 8 p.m. until midnight, we will stay up here selling Daily Quench cards. And this will be the first place that Daily Quench cards are sold. And so I think a lot of people come and buy them.
Oh, I bet you were asleep.
So we sent a text message out, and I showed up at about 7:30, and there was a line almost around the block. And we were nonstop. We didn't leave that bar until 1, 2 a.m., and we were selling the entire time. And on the first night, and most of our transactions were cash, $25, a $20 and a $5 bill. Most everybody was just paying cash. As we were packing up, I looked around, and I'm like, I've got $25,000, $30,000 on cash on me from this one night.
Gosh, this guy is just a money machine.
And it was scary because I was like, I'm getting robbed. Who's not going to rob me? I'm walking out with all this money on me. Everybody's seeing me with this money.
So what'd you do with it all? Put it in the safe in the restaurant?
I called a bunch of fraternity brothers, and they helped get me out of the bar. And I went back to my house, and I sat in my bedroom all night. Just
with a gun on your lap?
Just looking at the door like at any point somebody's coming in.
He's paranoid.
But no, and it turned out to be a
and then the next week
success.
You went to another bar and then another bar, and so you just moved around from bar to bar till you ended up with how many bars that were selling Daily Quench cards?
Yeah, we moved around from bar to bar selling them, and then what we eventually started doing was pre-printing Daily Quench cards and giving them to the bar so the bar could sell themselves.
And then they get a kickback, the bar?
Yeah, they got, I think, $5. And then we started going to these fraternity and sorority presidents and giving them $5 a card to be able to promote them to their members. And then, 6 months later, we decided to open Starkville, Mississippi, which is Mississippi State. And so what we did is 6 days a week, every day except Sunday, I would drive. At 5 p.m. I would leave. I wouldn't come back till midnight. But 6 days a week for almost a year, I would go down to Starkville, which is 2.5, hour and a half, 2 hours south of Ole Miss, where Mississippi State is. And I started selling in Starkville as well. And we had a really good reception from Starkville, similar to what we had in Ole Miss. And after I graduated, I had an investor approach me and say, let's blow this up to multiple cities, because we found the key to it was going into new markets, getting these fraternities and sororities on board. Mm-hmm. If 30-40% of a population are a member of fraternity sorority, it's an easy way to hit pretty fast. And so with this new investor on board, we hired quite a few people, and we expanded from 2 colleges to 10, 15 across 7, 8 states. Fayetteville, we had it in Fayetteville. We had it in Texas A&M. We had it in Georgia. We had it at University of Memphis. We had it everywhere.
Is it still going?
It actually is wound down a little bit. After I left the company and decided to go do Chef Shuttle, and it wound down a little bit. It needed a lot of hustle behind it, and I think I was kind of the heart and soul of it. And it's hard to separate a company from the owner.
It is.
And if you don't prepare for that transition, you'll run into trouble. And I don't think we did a good enough job preparing for that transition. And all of these people I'd hired, they were loyal to me. When I leave, all these campus reps, if you don't prepare the correct way, it'll wind up in disaster.
We were just talking about that 2 weeks ago with Barry Corcoran about succession and how they have a loyalty to the original owner, and then when it often changes hands, you get a big turnover. You need another strong personality. Mm-hmm. All right, I'm going to talk to you, Eric.
I'm ready. Actually, Ryan's story is pretty amazing. Everything he's put together, and
you're so proud. I can see you glowing over there.
I've told people this story with my father in the room and without my father in the room. But if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't have done this.
How
you know,
come?
because if he would have given me everything I asked for and everything I wanted, I would have never had a need or desire to try to get what I wanted if he provided it for me. And when he took the approach of, I'm going to provide you the essentials. You're not going to starve. You're not going to go without a roof over your head. You're going to have a good life. But you're not going to be a spoiled kid. You're not driving the brand new car. You're driving a very old car as your first car. You're not getting $100 a month. You're not getting my credit card. You're getting $20 a weekend. And by him being disciplined, I had two choices. Either I figure out how to budget the money, or I figure out how to earn more. And that's what I did. I figured out how to earn more. And if it wasn't for that decision, then we wouldn't be here. And I think the second thing is he would always preach, do the right thing. No matter the situation, it was do the right thing. And doing the right thing is not always the easiest thing to do. Doing the right thing is very often the harder of two choices. And he had always preached, do the right thing. And I think that is one of the primary reasons for the success that, I've had, is I've always tried to do the right thing. And sometimes it was unpopular. Sometimes it cost us money. Sometimes my employees didn't agree with it. Sometimes my investors didn't agree with it. But by doing the right thing, you always come out ahead. And I've trusted in that because he instilled that value in me. And I thank him for that, because it's a big reason for everything we've done so far.
Yeah, I told all the kids that your reputation is all you got at the end of the day. And if you squander that in any way, everyone around is going to remember it. 40 years from now, they'll still be talking about what you did.
Did your father instill that in you, Eric?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Dad worked hard while he was in the insurance business, and you bet it was fun for my brother and me to both watch him and how he did things.
So you brought Hub International to Arkansas, and then you sold it.
No, actually in 2011.
Tell everybody what Hub International is.
Hub is the largest privately held commercial insurance brokerage in the country. So we have offices in 330 cities and 8,000 of us, and we're very, very good risk managers. So, by far the largest broker in Arkansas, with the exception of one, but they don't do all the lines that we do here in Arkansas.
You talking about Blue Cross Blue Shield?
No, commercial property casualty. Now, we do have benefits and all that, but I'm primarily a property and casualty guy.
So,
but we started in 2011. I started an insurance agency. And in 2015, we sold that to Hub International.
Oh, I see. So you're an entrepreneur that started your own agency. What was it called?
It was the Holmes Organization of Arkansas, but my partners were out of Tulsa, the Holmes Organization there. And so, we started, ground up, scratch, opened a new operation here, and it was a lot of fun.
When did you start that one?
January of 11.
And then Hub came in and
purchased Holmes May 1 of 15. So they liked what they saw, obviously.
This is genetic.
Maybe.
Build a business and sell it. I have never done that. Both of y'all have done that. You've done it 2 times, and you've done it.
This is my first time. Hub is a great company, and there are times that I do miss kind of calling the shots a little bit. But it's...
You're still working there.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I wouldn't be anywhere else.
Yeah, what else are you going to do?
Yeah, that's all I know. I do have 2 Ryan stories.
Okay, come on.
One of them is he'd taken an 8-to-5 job out of Ole Miss with a competitor of mine in New York City. And we were on the plane to New York to move him up there, and we were taking off, and he said, "Dad, I've already quit my job." And we're taking off. And
you mean the job that he was going to New York City for? You're on the plane, moving him up there, and thinking he's going to a new job, and he tells you, I've already quit.
Job. He said,
You're like, well, what are we doing on this plane?
That's exactly what I said. And
I had quit it 3 months earlier, but I was afraid to tell him.
What? And so you let him pack everything up and move y'all up there?
Oh, yeah. He had a lease for a year.
Yeah, I signed a lease.
Oh, so okay. What happened so you went there in silence, I guess, on the airplane ride?
I understood it. I mean, I knew that, it's not in my genes either to do the 8-to-5 sit at a desk thing. And so he wanted to go start this new company, and that's what he did. And my other story is he had a little legal issue sometime in college, nothing major. And
besides putting mailers into
he called me and he said, Dad, I've got a problem, and this is what's happened. And I was like, son, all right. And he said, but don't worry about a thing, Dad. My lawyer's already got it taken care of. And I said, your lawyer? And he said, yes, I've already hired a lawyer and it's taken care of.
Was it a friend of yours?
No, it was a good lawyer. May have had a little drink or so underage.
Oh, Ole Miss. I figured that's what it was.
Yeah, I thought it was legal in Ole Miss, but
so I said, well, if you're handling it, then it's your issue, and let's move on to the next subject.
Well, that's a can-do kind of spirit that every entrepreneur has. I mean, they just call up. They've already got the problem. They tell you what it is. They've already got a solution. But I got to hear, when you got to New York and you didn't have a job, what was the first thing you did? Because that was my very next question. You graduated from college, moved to New York to follow your father's footsteps of selling insurance, and boom, I'm guessing you saw an opportunity and the wheels in your brain started to turn. What was it you saw, and how did you act on this hunch?
That was after Daily Quench went through the investment. And so I was still working for running Daily Quench. Now I was just having to fly out of New York every Monday and come back on Friday.
You were flying to Mississippi?
I was flying to the South. And the reason I'll say that it took me so long to tell my father is, and I think this has a bigger meaning. First, insurance in my family is what we do. My grandfather, my father, I think most people who have been in Little Rock for quite a while will tell you in the commercial space that, Dick Herget and Eric Herget are two of the best, if not the best, commercial insurance brokers in the state. And my degree was in insurance at college. And I thought that I was going to follow in his footsteps until this entrepreneurial bug got into me. And so when I knew I wasn't going to take this job in New York, I had trouble telling him, because 99% of the population has always looked at their career as I graduate college and I'm going to work for 40 years or for 50 years, and I'm going to save up until I become 65 or 70, and I'm going to retire. And I'm going to live out the last 10, 20 years of my life with the retirement.
Right.
And, for over half of my life, I'm going to spend only 2 out of 7 days enjoying my life, so that the last 15 years of my life, I can spend 7 out of 7 days. He's a numbers guy
all the way, isn't he?
Well, and I think with the younger generation that I'm included in, some of us have a different thought. And my thought is, what I'm going to do is I'm going to work 110 hours a week. And that's what I work. I work 110 hours a week. And I'm going to try to make enough money to where I have the ability to retire by the time I'm 30.
What?
And it's going to take a lot of work. And it's going to take a lot of great people. And it's going to take a lot of luck. And it's going to take a lot of breaks. But that's what we're doing right now. And it's hard for somebody to comprehend, what do you mean this is what you're going to do? This is not the norm. This is not what you're taught. This is not what everybody else does. What do you mean you don't have a 401k? What do you mean you're not putting a little bit into retirement? And it's because I want to invest any money I make into startups. And what I'm going to do is, if I don't have enough money to where I can retire by the time I'm 30, I figure I still have 30, 40 years in the workforce to catch up with everybody else.
Exactly.
And so this startup life cycle that I'm in right now is, let's do this until let's see what happens. And I think right now with Chef Shuttle, people would be surprised with our revenue numbers. We're doing several millions of dollars a quarter.
When did it start? When did you start it?
2014.
From when you had the idea in New York City to when you got it off the ground, how long did it take to come fruition?
3 months.
That's pretty darn fast. So you're sitting in New York City, and how does the idea come to you? You didn't go up there with this idea,
no,
but you got this idea when you were in New York, didn't you?
Yes, you're getting food delivered every day to you.
While you're in New York.
While you're in New York. It's a lot easier. Most of the restaurants offer delivery because all you have to do is put somebody on a bicycle, and they can hit, quite a big part of the city. And I looked at the South in particular and looked at my hometown of Little Rock, and I said, there isn't a service that can offer convenience to customers. And that's when I decided I'm going to come back and I'm going to start Chef Shuttle. And so we started February 3rd, 2014 out of my living room couch with 7 restaurants, a couple drivers, and, chaos. And
I love that chaos, though.
In the first 8 weeks, we did what we thought we were going to do in revenue for the entire year of 2014.
Really? Every one of your jobs has been like that. Every one of your ideas has blown up instantly.
It's luck. I mean, a lot of it's luck, but
I think it's intuitive
hard work.
opportunities too.
But with Chef Shuttle, with rapid growth, comes a need for cash.
What was the first thing you sold when you were doing Chef Shuttle? You went to the restaurants first. How did you get it off the ground in 3 months?
So I went to the restaurants
First to sell them and say, would you like for me to deliver your products because you don't have anybody to deliver your products? Mm-hmm. And they said yes.
Yes.
And it wasn't a hard sale?
No, we're bringing them incremental business they wouldn't have gotten. If a customer wants to go eat out, Chef Shuttle stance and view is, then go. But go to one of our partner restaurants if you want to go eat out. However, if you want to stay in, instead of cooking or instead of ordering from
Fast
any
food.
restaurant,
US Pizza.
order from one of our partner restaurants. And so for the restaurant, our business is based upon them. And so we try to push them as much business as possible. And in turn, they'll let us deliver the product because 95% of a restaurant's customers are going to fall within a 5-mile radius. With Chef Shuttle, we can expand that radius to 10 or 15 miles. And so now a restaurant has the ability to serve customers.
15 miles?
In some cases.
Is it an app on your phone?
It's primarily right now the website, chefshuttle.com.
So you go to chefshuttle.com and you have a list of the restaurants that you will deliver.
Yep. So you put in your address and it'll show you all the restaurants that are delivered to your address.
And how did you get consumers to know about your website to go there? So you've gone to the restaurants, you've told them about this service. Now you've got to get consumers to know about it. So the restaurants are telling their consumers, or how?
Yeah, a lot of it is a partnership with the restaurant. Now we've got a marketing director, Kerry, who does a really good job with our marketing and getting our brand out there. But for a while...
You did the flyers?
We did flyers.
That would be a great one to do regional.
We did restaurants, and then we did yard signs. And people driving past yard signs every single day.
3 really unpredictable ways. You went to the restaurants. Mm-hmm. Did you give them something to put on the counter?
Yes, the door.
And the door. And you trained all their employees to say, we can deliver?
We would rely on the typically the restaurant owner, general manager to do so, but it's a partnership in every sense of the words.
Does the restaurant get a kickback, or they just get increased sales?
We take a commission from the restaurant off everything we sell for them.
Okay.
It's how we make our money with Chef Shuttle.
So the person that's ordering the food on your website does not pay anything extra for the delivery, or do they have a delivery price?
We use the same menu and same price as you find in the restaurant. You only pay a $4.95 delivery fee. The tip is optional. So while most customers add the tip,
does that go to the driver or to the restaurant? It
goes 100% to the driver.
Okay.
So our pricing model is same menu, same prices as the restaurant. We make our money because the restaurant's going to pay us a commission off everything we sell. We process everything through our website. So when you check out and put your items in your cart, you're paying the same menu prices. There's a $4.95 delivery fee added. The tip's optional. We do encourage it, though, because that's how our drivers make the money. It goes 100% to our drivers.
Is it hard? So you went to the restaurants, got them to buy in. I think you probably did that yourself, right?
Yes.
And then you took advantage of the postal service. What did you call that?
Every door direct mail.
Every door direct mail, which I think is wonderful. And then you did yard signs. Where would you do yard signs?
In front of the restaurants.
In front of the restaurants.
And our big thing with Chef Shuttle is, if you look at most of the advertising we do, we include our restaurant logos in there. Because Chef Shuttle, as a standalone brand, what does Chef Shuttle do? Are they chefs? Are they pickup? Are they delivery? Are they an ordering process site? What is Chef Shuttle? But when you associate Chef Shuttle with our restaurant partners, then it becomes clear. Restaurant delivery. And here are the restaurants I can get my product delivered from. So we really try to use a co-branding strategy with our restaurants and with ourselves in order to really drive home our message that Chef Shuttle is restaurant delivery. And we took that model. In May of 2014, we went through our first round of funding with LaFrance family. We went through another round of funding in 2015, and we're currently going through a pretty big round of funding right now, primarily out of the West Coast. And
And you're going to be in how many states did you say at the beginning of the show? You had a goal to be able to sell it in 5 years. To me, it seems like you ought to be able to franchise it.
We've had the opportunity to franchise.
That seems like the next thing to me. You remind me of the guy from Starbucks. You do the right thing, take care of your employees. Those are all the things that Howard Schwartz, is that his name? Is that Schwartz? From Starbucks says about his company. And sometimes it was against his board. His board would say, no, you shouldn't be providing health insurance. And he was like, it's the right thing to do. So you're not into the franchising, you're more into selling it?
I agree with the franchise, but Chef Shuttle is just stage one. Our goal is to have an infrastructure to be able to deliver all types of products. So Chef Shuttle...
Well, if that new software, you're going to be able to.
So we're going to roll out grocery delivery, and we'll eventually roll out dry cleaner delivery, and we're going to have this infrastructure that can deliver all types of product. And so until we do that, we've had franchisees approach us, but until we know how to operate multiple sides of our business at once, we don't feel comfortable selling a franchise if we can't say 100%, this is what your business model is going to look like in the future. Because right now, we know how to deliver restaurant food, and we're really good. And we've delivered I think we've actually passed 500,000 orders we've done. We're good at that, but we're rolling out other delivery options that we want to make sure we have down before we sell people on them.
So when I first started looking at your bio and stuff, I thought, well, he's going to go franchise, and then he's going to go to publicly traded. But now, after our conversation, I think you're going to sell all of this, and you're going to become a software salesman. If you can get a delivery software working that can work across all those platforms, to me, software is where the money is. You have to do those upgrades and maintenance contracts. They just drive me. I'm just like, what? They put in a couple of new fields and charged you $5,000 for a maintenance contract.
Yeah, that's a potential. I think having this infrastructure will be valuable for us. The shift in consumer demand, 10 years ago, it was more about I want customer service is my first priority and convenience is second. Now it's shifting towards convenience is my first priority, customer service is second. When you order a product, you want to do it online so you can do it fast.
Right.
And you want to get that product as soon as you order the product. So consumers are going to the shift is going to continue to be more and more towards when I buy it, I want it.
Convenience.
And I want to buy it when I want to buy it. I don't want to have to go to a store. And Chef Shuttle, I think, presents this great opportunity where we can be the one with our infrastructure to be able to get that customer any product whenever they want it in the last mile sense. So
Is it hard to qualify your drivers? I see you synergize with Uber also. There's a whole other conversation.
The biggest thing that sets us apart is we try to be not only a convenience-driven company, but a customer service-driven company.
Right. But how do you get your drivers and qualify them?
We have quite a few drivers that come from whether it be our restaurant partners, whether it be their friends telling them, because they're making on average $8, $9 an order.
So it's word of mouth.
It's word of mouth. And then we preach, you're the face of Chef Shuttle.
Uh-huh.
You're the voice of Chef Shuttle. The customer's relying on you. You treat our customers the way we're going to treat our customers. And it's been a good partnership.
Yeah, I just love it. I could talk to you for an hour. Please come back. But Eric, thanks for coming in, even though we didn't talk very much. But
that's fine. I've enjoyed rehashing everything that
I could tell you just grinning. This is for you, Eric. I know you're a cigar smoker.
Oh, yeah.
These cigars come from the Humidor Room at Colonial Wine and Spirits on Markham. And that's for birthing a business.
And I appreciate it.
You're welcome. I should give you 3. You birthed 3 businesses. Yep. And Eric, I should give you 3 for your 3 sons that you've done a great job with.
Good boys.
So they are all great. So thank you to Ryan and Eric Herget for my guest today. They are smart, handsome, and successful father, Eric, and his son, Ryan. Next week will be a holiday week. So my tech, Tim Bowen.
Hey.
And I will be playing excerpts from previous shows. We have the best of the Barry Corcoran show. He'll be talking about succession, passing on a business, and the best of Matt McLeod, who shares how he melded his passion for painting into a business called McLeod Fine Arts Gallery. If you have questions
or you have a great entrepreneurial story that you would like to share with me, I would love to hear from you. Send a brief bio and your contact info to
questions@upyourbusiness.org.
and somebody will be in touch. And finally, to our listeners, I want to thank you for spending time with me and my guests, Eric and Ryan Herget. Thank y'all so much for sharing your great stories. I think you've been a great inspiration to a lot of people. I really do. I hope you'll come back. If you think this program's been about you, the listener, you're right. But it's also been about me. Thank you for letting me fulfill my destiny. My hope today is that you've heard or learned something that's been inspiring or enlightening, and that it, whatever it is, will help you up your business, your independence, or your life. I'm Kerry McCoy, and I'll see you next Friday at 2 p.m. on KABF Public Radio, 88.3 FM, the voice of the people. Until then, be brave and keep it up.
You've been listening to Up in Your Business with Kerry McCoy. Want to hear today's program again or want someone else to benefit from it? Jot this down. Within 48 hours, the podcast will be available at upyourbusiness.org and at flagandbanner.com. Again, that's upyourbusiness.org. Check the tab labeled podcast. There you'll find today's segment with links to resources you heard discussed on this program. Kerry's goal, to help you live the American dream.